Hey, what the fuck was that? I don't know. Hi, it is me. Um, I have a hard seltzer in me, and I realized that I'm bored, and then I remembered, oh yeah, BlizzCon happened, and there was a full Overwatch 2 presentation. What? What do you mean Overwatch 2 news? I thought it was a myth. And if you know me from back in the day, all I did was play Overwatch because I had bad taste. I'm kidding. Um, I liked Overwatch, but the community was so toxic, and I just got tired of it. And one time I got really drunk playing it, and I threw up everywhere. So it was a bad time. So we're gonna go watch this and look at this. Oh, new screen. What is this? Does this even look okay? I don't know. When I go live with shit, I plan on the chat being here. I don't know what would go here. Let's get rid of the view count because I'm not live. So that didn't exist. Anyway, Overwatch 2. Woo! Let's go. All right. Do we watch this whole thing? YN. It is 40 minutes. We might have to watch it at a speed of 125. So I feel sane. Let's see what's going on.
Welcome everybody to BlizzCon.
Jeff Kaplan, it's been so long. What's up, homeboy? What's up? You good? You good, dude? What up? What up? All right, can you still see me? Yes, you can. Okay. Let's get comfy and enjoy this. Oh my god. Why do you look more like a frog than ever? Oh, cool.
We lost Scott.
That's off to a good start. This is going great. We've been assembling one of the best.
I want this to be good.
Please. And I'm so proud of the progress that we have made together.
We really liked the stylized drop down.
Imagine that it's coming forward, boom, boom, this starts to spin.
The scale and the scope of this game have meant that we've needed to grow substantially.
We have to do. Sorry. Let me start.
Overall, good, keep growing.
Done incredibly well as a team.
Puppy! Kitty!
Oh, try to play.
There have definitely been challenges, but the team is really putting everything we've got behind this game.
To me, it's the next big.
Good, I want this to be good.
Universe, new heroes, game modes, major.
Wait, do we have her name? She's Canadian. Sojourn. I've seen her and thanks God she is thick. Those aren't her real legs. Where does the real leg start? Does it start here? Does it start here? Does she have? Does it start up there? Look at that booty. Okay, so I'm guessing the cutoff is like here. Damn. Thick bitch. Choke me like you choke me when you choke me. Anyway, I love her. Okay.
Heroes, game modes, major story beats.
With competitive and PvE, I see Overwatch 2 as the Overwatch for all of my friends.
We're always inspired by what story and franchise development does.
Overwatch isn't about friends. I mean, it kind of is, but it's so toxic. I'd rather just play solo. Or with like a couple of friends without any randos. Is it going to be a good sequel? We have not been very patient. We have not. I haven't felt the patience.
All of our players at home, they want to see one of the new maps that we've never talked about before.
I like his jacket.
I can just talk about anything that I want to. Yes. You're serving this up to the guy that is like unintentionally leaked information in past interviews.
You can do it officially now.
Okay. So one of the maps that
he sounds just like Jeff.
Excited for in Overwatch 2 is our Rome map.
Roma.
We always want Overwatch to feel like this globe-trotting adventure for our players.
Dion. Oh, this looks cool. What is that? Is that like a gondola?
Sort of this powerful feeling
Trolley?
of old world architecture. One of the most exciting things for me is the early building of these maps.
Gorgeous.
We get to sit down together with key people from the environment team, level designers, effects groups. We'll spend some time talking about moments in the game that we really want to see.
That looks like France.
The Colosseum or a grand view of the hills of Rome in the backdrop. And then we'll go back and do a paint over, or we'll do a concept painting of certain things based on that. We try to
I love this like half digital, half actual sculpture.
One of our environment artists had just taken a trip to Rome, and he returned with thousands of pictures and was so excited to work on a map set in Italy.
There's a lot of
I
ancient
wanna go to
architecture involved
Italy.
that represents
Venice
the
is
entire Roman history.
drowning.
So we brought some of
It
that back.
sucks.
Some of the
There's
things that are
Doomfist and
destroyed in real life,
Tracer.
we kind of rebuilt in a kind of an Overwatch style.
Is my
It's
face
one of
red?
the
It
most
feels
beautiful
really
pieces
warm.
of environment art that I think we've made for the entire game, and it just absolutely took my breath away.
Pretty. Hotel
Can we reveal
Forland.
more maps?
Yes, Scott. Scott, why don't you have the honor? Why don't you reveal? Like, is there an artified? Like, let's pick an artified one.
I know what map I want
Hey,
to talk
Scott.
about. It's the one that I just get super excited about. New York City. New York City is just an amazing Overwatch
Fuck
location.
yeah, I'm from New York.
We're really
Let's go,
striving to make it as
bitches.
authentic as possible while still putting this Overwatch spin on it.
There's a lot of amazing buildings and
Ooh.
architecture pieces that just, especially for artists, stands out a lot. And they usually use this kind of Art Deco style from the 1920s, 1950s.
We started in an area that's a little bit like the village. There's some smaller shops there.
Oh.
There's a fire station, little
Oh.
pizza places, and things
Pizza!
that people that are familiar with New York City will either
Uptown.
recognize or maybe see the
Oh.
reference that we're trying to make with some of our different locations. It feels like
Stop.
something you
Oh,
haven't
this
seen in
looks
other
so
games before
cool.
because it's uniquely Overwatch.
Yay. Oh,
We
cool to
should move on.
buy.
Otherwise, we just have to reveal more maps. So
Oh
we're talking
no.
about PvP. And,
Terrible.
You know, one thing that I think is really interesting about PvP in Overwatch 2 is some of the philosophical changes we're making to the approach.
Like
PvP
what?
feels different and new. We're upgrading our combat feel. The roles are playing differently. When it comes to all new maps, it's a pretty big departure from where we are on live right now. So I can't wait to see.
I want that
where we end up
Mercy
with it, but
statue.
I'm
I love
excited.
Mercy. She's my main.
We're also experimenting with the idea we call role passives, which are passive abilities that a hero can have based on what role they are. For example, currently in our internal builds, the tank heroes all have knockback reduction against them, and they also generate less ultimate charge for enemies that are shooting at them. Damage healing heroes have a movement speed bonus, which is great for flanking around the map, and healing heroes, support heroes have automatic healing that kicks in after they haven't taken damage for a while, very similar to Mercy's passive, but a little bit of a lower rate. One of the more
Interesting.
shocking changes that we've been exploring in Overwatch 2 PvP is a change to the tank role entirely. That's applied to all of the tanks. We want to try to make them more toe-to-toe brawlers and less characters that just stand back and protect other people.
So, for example, for Reinhardt, we've given him 2 charges of Fire Strikes, so he can throw Fire Strikes a lot more aggressively and more often. Also, his charge, he's able to cancel it now, and you can steer it more aggressively. So
That's
not quite turn a corner,
very
but definitely more
useful.
accurately pin targets, and because you can cancel
Oh,
it,
this
you
will
can
make
much more
grind
aggressively,
very
you know,
fun.
really go after those key targets without feeling like you're going to sacrifice, you know, all of your positioning, everything to get there.
Bitchin'.
It's more terrifying now with this, be able to unleash his full arsenal more often than just being the guy with a shield. The changes to Reinhardt
I
that
love
we're trying,
Reinhardt.
and they might not shift, that's just the reality, but the changes that we're trying right now are to try to embrace more of that instinct that players have when they want to play a big burly character that looks aggressive and feels like it should be aggressive.
I hope they do something similar for Orisa, because I mean Orisa.
Shortly
I've never
after
actually
BlizzCon,
really
we
played
spun
Ryan.
up this group, our combat field group, to really just work on what happens when a player holds the trigger.
We're putting a ton of effort into looking at all of our characters and trying to give them even a more visceral weapon feel.
From sound
Like
to
what?
VFX to animation to the design of these units, all new sounds for a lot of our weapons in the game, and a whole new sound system that's driving it. And we didn't just level up a unit, we leveled up the rest of the game. When we first started working on Overwatch, you know, we spent quite a bit of time working on gunfire sounds and just general combat feel to make it feel really awesome. We're revisiting pretty much everything. Nothing's off the table, so we're looking at even kind of small things such as quick melee attacks that every hero has. So they have kind of new audio packs and a new kind of feel and visual effect when you hit things.
One of the bigger efforts.
Don't
we're
hit
undertaking
Orisa,
for
she's
Overwatch
my
2 is what
baby.
we're calling our Weapon 2.0 sound pass. What this is a big overhaul to the weapon systems in the game. That means the way the gun feels in your hands. You could feel the ammo running out as you're getting lower on the clip. We really tried to amplify those sounds to better encapsulate the gameplay and the gunplay.
Let me listen to that.
The clip. That means the way the gun feels in your hands. You could feel the ammo running out as you're getting lower on the clip.
Oh, it does get a little more instead of the. You can hear the tick a little bit. That's very subtle though. But it's a good investment, I guess.
Those sounds to better encapsulate the gameplay and the gunplay that comes with Overwatch 2. Another key to the weapons was getting them to feel like they're in the environment. This meant working with convolution reverb. It's a new system that we've implemented into Overwatch. It's a way that we can capture the acoustics of an environment and transport it onto the sounds that we're using. So we went and captured tales of guns in different environments through our weapon shoots.
Oh. Yeah, wow. Whoa.
And then we've cut them and applied it so that we can support a lot more environments. Now we're supporting outdoor, urban outdoor, warehouse tails, tight tunnels.
The echo is good.
And it gives a lot more presence to the weapons and the way that they react in the world.
The shooter genre has evolved a lot since Overwatch 1 came out.
That's
On top
true.
of that, I think we really want to push the visceral nature of how we do combat. So we focused a lot, not just on the wonderful sound effects, but also with how the gun moves as you shoot. So you can really feel every single shot leaving the chamber. And there's a lot of subtle little tweaks we have to do on the gameplay engineering
That's
side to
good.
make that feel really visceral.
Yeah,
Making
the way they
making sure that the camera
feel
sits crisp,
is
making sure
important.
that if you get shot, you know exactly these tight indicators show up on the outside of your reticle. All these things play into making the game feel not just tight and responsive, but also modern and up to date. Take
Okay.
76, for example. What we wanted to do in Overwatch 2 with his weapon was make it really feel incredibly powerful, and that happens with a bunch of different elements that mix together. But it really feels like the gun is almost just outside of your control. A lot of that comes down to this camera shake technology, where every time you fire a weapon, you want to feel like it's running through your entire body.
That's an
The camera
interesting
shake is that extra
choice.
bite to every single shot out of the chamber. It makes him feel really great. You guys got a sneak peek of Sojourn from last BlizzCon. She's
Sojourn!
been undeveloped for quite a while, and she's actually quickly at this point become a lot of people's favorites in the house. When we look back at Overwatch when it was originally created, there was a lot of heroes that were made from a gameplay standpoint kind of surrounding a weapon type. For example, Pharah was based on a rocket launcher hero, Widowmaker is clearly like kind of sniper. But there was a weapon that was kind of missing that would be a lot of fun to play with, and that's a railgun. It's so much fun to playtest to have this really powerful shot that can, rip through enemies if you really are accurate with it. She's all about that aim skill, so if you got that aim skill, you'll love her.
I don't
We're
have aim
still
skill,
exploring new game modes.
so I will hate her as I suck
Reevaluating
at
older
dodging.
game modes that people are more critical of.
But I am curious to
We're
try
the
her
mindset, maybe
thickness.
2CP doesn't exist in
Ugh.
Overwatch 2, and maybe there's a new cool game mode that replaces it. We really want Overwatch 2 to feel like the next evolution, a true sequel to the first game.
So I wonder how this is such a non-anything thing, but in Canada, they're French Canadian, so they'll also speak French. So I wonder if like Sojourn and Widowmaker will have like interesting French conversations, or if because I never took French. My dad studied French, but now he's a lawyer, so hell that did. No offense to him. I took Spanish. I don't really get French. It's a lot of like in my opinion. But I feel like there has to be a difference between French from Canada and maybe the talking of it, and then the French that's in like the Caribbean, and then the French that's from France. So I'm curious how that sounds. Because isn't Baptiste? Is he French as well? I have to check that again. It's been a while.
Of the original game. This is an evolution and a
But I think that'd be
replacement to the
interesting.
original game. And I think it's
I hope
exciting.
they explore that. Hero missions.
Hero missions are probably one of the things that's the hardest to wrap your head around if you've never played one of them.
What do you mean? You
The goal
shoot.
around hero missions is for these to be this co-op PvE experience.
I personally only play competitive mode. Like, I'm all about that competition. And I have friends that they don't want to do that at all. So I'm really looking forward to a game that I can play hours and hours with my friends who aren't in competitive. And it's also something that I'm interested in.
Hero missions are the content that people are playing as they are leveling up their heroes. And so for a system like this to really sing, you need a lot of missions. We don't want players to feel like they're just in this grind to get to the top.
There's a lot of really, really good back-end technology that we're exploring so that the heroes are constantly bringing their personality and some light story to these hero missions as well.
Good, please do.
The goal is to
That's
make
what I want.
as many as possible, hundreds of hero missions. We've explored
That's the goal. Where these are the ones that they've made. So whenever Overwatch 2 comes out, these are 9 different types of missions. So I'm hoping that these will not be the only 9 available whenever the mythical Overwatch 2 comes out. Because I'm going to need more than 9. I could do 9 hero missions in a day. I'm going to need at least like 50. And you said hundreds. So, provide. I mean, listen, maybe 50 is asking a lot, so I'm gonna settle for 20 to 30. So double this, triple this, please.
A lot of different ways of getting to that much content. So have like different sets of enemy units that people will be fighting against, and there's different hero mission types. At the same time, hero missions can take place in all of the multiplayer maps that we've done, and we're also adding new spaces onto some of these maps.
Okay. Okay, that's
it's
London.
A huge challenge for the art team. We take maps that a lot of
I like seeing them playing with the lighting. That's very cool.
And recognize, and we have to add a lot more art and level design to it.
In this one hero mission playtest, we came up to an area in King's Row that usually has a gate on it. Suddenly that gate opened, and I saw a new area of King's Row that I had never seen before.
You may be playing a payload game type, and the payload may decide to take this new route instead of going the usual route.
That was really, really cool. It was like this eye-opening...
So is he just not involved? Is he just like the president? That kind of sucks. I have a little less confidence in Jeff Kaplan as a like showrunner for Blizzard, or at least for Overwatch, because like he was like, oh, that was so cool to see. It's like, you weren't a part of that development? That's a little sucky.
Special moment.
I mean, it's cool that you're hyped about it, but like, I wish you were a part of that conversation.
Our lead tech artist on the environment side, very early on her own free time, made a prototype of a sandstorm on the Temple of Anubis map.
And at the time, we didn't know what we wanted to do with that, but it looked awesome.
It does.
Oh my god, we absolutely have to do this.
So we put some new technology in place that allows us to do this dynamically. You start the mission off, clear day. Midway through the mission, suddenly this sandstorm or heavy weather would show up.
It made the world just feel so much more alive.
That's very cool.
There's a sunset, daytime, nighttime, but depending on where you are in the world, these look different. California.
I mean, I hope so.
What we call a California sun. In New Bonnie, there's a great African sun.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Sense of space and mood. This is what
yes,
brings the
rainy Paris, please.
For me, the dynamic world's exciting. Just seeing these dramatic.
Oh, I want to see Dorado. Oh, yes, Blizzard in Russia, please.
Experience for the player.
Before you start
Volskaya Industries.
It's nighttime in Necropolis, or there's a sandstorm in Necropolis. Players can make some comp choices based on knowing this information. Characters like Hanzo or Widowmaker start to be a little more valuable because they have abilities that allow them to see through the sand more clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to talk about any of the types of objectives in hero missions?
Yeah, let's talk about the objectives. Players are being asked to do different things from one hero mission to the next so that they all feel really fresh to the player.
For example, we have Gather and Return, where you're trying to go and grab these different canisters to kind of safeguard them so they don't go off and affect the population in a negative way. It creates this really cool tension in the world where, on the one hand,
was this a thing before? I've never heard of this.
To be as efficient as possible, but at the same time,
I guess it's like capture the flaggy, but
that are really difficult, and if you kind of get caught by yourself, it turns into a pretty bad situation really quickly. It feels extremely cooperative and like a very different way to interact with the Overwatch universe.
All right, I dig.
We're experimenting with all sorts of ideas, and just internally we have names like Wall of Death, Scavenger Hunt, and Kill Quest. And
Wall of Death is like in every fucking MMO, like PUBG. I think in Fortnite they have it. In Apex they have it. It's like, that's not new. I mean, it's new for Overwatch, so that's neato libido, but like, really? That's like, and I get it, it helps like limit your space. It's very good for PvP, but for these like story missions, like, how are you going to explain that? You think the Wall of Death, instead of looking like this dumbass purple wall, would be like, the sandstorm's coming, don't get too close or you'll get sucked in and die. Or don't get too close to like the heart of the storm in near Volskaya Industries, or you'll freeze. Or you're like, if you're like an android, or you have technology based in your weaponry, which is pretty much everyone, it will malfunction the closer you get. So maybe you won't be able to pop off so many shots. Or maybe your thing will get jammed because it's so cold. Or there's sand in it. Like, why is it just a purple wall of death?
all these new mechanics and enemies for people to experience. Players will be able to jump in night after night, play different hero missions, and then work through the progression system, leveling up their heroes.
So now you'll be able to have the function of leveling up your hero.
At BlizzCon in
I do appreciate
we
this.
started to talk about progression, and we showed the very early version of our talent system, which I think was really cool. We had that one talent where like May became the rolling snowball, which was a big hit. We've really
I love that.
system out.
I'm real excited about talents. You can play the same hero in so many different ways. Now with the skill tree.
Yes. Yes. Change it up. Yes. I'm down for this. Soldier, why do you have a stash? Or why does it... Oh, Oh, that's not a good look, sweetheart. What the fuck? Do you see this? He's like, it looks like there was a guy, I think on TikTok or something. He had like a beard, or I think it was Wubby. I think it was Pay Money Wubby. He has this like mustache beard combo, but he just shaved like this side and then to here. So then it just looked like a swirl. That's exactly what he has. Oh, honey, I get it. There's a scar, but at least fucking continue the stash because it doesn't look like you do. That's disgusting. No. Did you get more scars? I don't remember this scar and that. I just remember like this one. I hate Mercy's new look. This neck thing still makes her look fat and weird, and I don't like it. I mean, you look amazing, Reinhardt. I love this look. I love the half up, half down. I love the longer hair. It's Santa Claus. Junkrat looks the same.
Doing different things.
Sorry, I just had to get that out there.
The talent system is like really
Okay, that's... Oh, God, there's so many options. Did you see that? Bitch.
Kind of experimenting.
yeah, the talent
Look how many options! You can be a Crusader, a Juggernaut, or a Guardian. Oh, this looks fucking fun. This one's a health one. If you throw it at someone, or if you do like his like fire thing, will it heal? That's bitchin'. Or maybe it's every time you do your ultimate smash, you get health back. Ooh. Oh, this is exciting. This is like in depth too. This is exciting shit.
is like really deep and rich.
Very God of War.
Every single hero has different trees. You might open up 76's tree, and as you're leveling and picking new talents, you're starting to feel your hero change. We've had some pretty hilarious versions
I'm so down.
The healing one where his biotic field travels with him. It also repulses enemies. We call it the snowplow build, where 76 is like running through spaces, pushing enemies away from them.
Designing these is super
That's
fun.
cool.
We get to break all the rules that we've sort of established for ourselves, and we get to really take the gloves off and do crazy things like Junkrat can dual-wield grenade launchers, and we've had Mercy be able to area effect res their whole team at once at super long range through walls. It's been a ton of fun, kind of like mad scientists making all this stuff.
We're not
Yes.
used to using these kind of kinetic weapons like Soldier 76's rifle or a fire attack like what Pointless Flame Strike does. As soon as you start
Flame
communicating
Strike,
these
that's it.
talents, all of a sudden maybe you're doing freeze damage or electrical damage, but it gives the animators a bunch of crazy opportunities.
That is a lot of fun.
To show them freezing and shatter. And if you shock someone with a lightning attack, they can shape in place and start maybe chain to other enemies. All sorts
Yeah.
of stuff to make you feel like you're controlling the battlefield.
That is
in
very
all the
cool.
ways.
That's a good.
As a huge RPG nerd myself, the first time I opened up the talent tree systems, it was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's very
this is
RPG.
like,
Oh, I love
I
it.
just want to plan, and I want to see like where do I want to invest. And how
It's
do I
very
invest
Final
in this
Fantasy.
Yes, it's so
Ooh.
great. You start at the bottom of the tree. Like,
Yes,
oh my,
exactly.
Like Tracer gets to do what?
Yeah.
And then you start working and kind of planning how you're gonna get down there. It's like, oh, it's so fun.
I love how he's geeking out. I'm happy about it.
When we look back at
To have, like,
BlizzCon
a nerd.
2019 and we talk about
Or not a nerd. Like, nerd sounds like an offensive term, but to have someone like so animated and excited about a product that he's working on, like, oh, you could do this with Tracer. That just feels really nice and
criticisms
genuine.
that we had. One of them, as a development team, that we felt was that the combat was just not
Oh,
engaging
excuse.
enough. So the fact that our combat wasn't
I was trying to
fully
hold in my
engaging
yawn
to
and then I
us
made a
as
dumb face. I'm
players
sorry.
meant that we had a problem with the enemy units and that
Mm.
they just weren't feeling interesting enough.
Just because we show something to the public, it doesn't mean that that is what it's going to be. If we make discoveries where things aren't working how we want, they're not reading how we want, they're not fun enough, we're totally down to reinvestigate, reiterate, and just really find ways to level kind of all aspects of things until they feel good.
I
Good.
would say a major focus.
But
of
make
all-
sure, like, you don't have to do that too many times. Just fucking get it right the first time and then add some patches. Because I feel like with Overwatch, one character can be amazing for a month and then immediately get nerfed. Or someone who is kind of lame gets, like, buffed. I don't want that. I don't want that happening too much. I know sometimes, like, maybe people found that exciting because that's a way to, like, change a character and how they play it. But that's what I hope the skill tree is for. You can pick and choose your moves. And maybe, like, if there's an event, you can get this exclusive move. Like, I don't know. Like, during the lunar event, your thing has, like, little, I don't know, paper lanterns that add, like, a fire burn effect to an enemy. I don't know. I think that'd be, like, fun. Though I guess that's, like, pay to win. But, like, if you're playing the game and you're participating in the events and you can get it for free, then is it really that bad?
of 2020 was to make.
But again, just make it right the first time. Hello. Immediately my eye, I see this, I'm like, oh, that's pretty neat. And then I see her and I'm like, hello. You're just a queen. You're a brain. Jellyfish. I like the sword. I like the double sword. Oh, maybe that's the same one, just that one's flying and this one's not. I like these little ones that look like they're from Star Wars. And the little birds. This is exciting.
Enemy units more engaging, and some of this was adding new units and evolving other units that we had.
Interesting combat for us is varied combat for us. So sometimes we're going to ask you to protect something in Overwatch 2.
Sure,
Sometimes we're just going to ask you to get someplace. Sometimes we might ask you to escort something across a map while it's being attacked. And so it's a different type of spawning, and it's a different type of units that are in there, and it's a simpler objective.
There's a lot of units Aaron is talking about. Lots of different units, lots of different types. They serve different purposes. You do different things to them. It's really going to help a lot of us find the fun and make sure that Overwatch 2 is a blast.
Good.
One of those sets
Make
of,
it fun,
enemies
please.
is what we internally call objective units. And they're typically units that don't even attack players. The simplest version would be something like the Breacher.
It's two legs with this huge bomb on its back. It was built to do one thing: slowly and methodically march towards its objective, and then it transforms, and the bomb opens up like a flower. It starts spinning.
That's very cool. I love this design very much.
You have a little bit of time before it's going to explode, and you have to take it out.
We have units like the slicers, which you guys have seen before. They're little, we call them the chickens. Little chicken sleds.
They do look like little chickens.
We're experimenting right now. Who flies and drops these bombs that create these kind of ever-expanding smoke fields that you have to escape from because they're super deadly. So you really get to use your mobility options to kind of escape that.
There's things like the polar. You could be moving through these
let's smile.
alleys, and as soon as you
Oh my god, we get to go on a subway? Bitchin'. Oh my god, okay. Okay, this is really exciting. Like these tight quarters areas. This is dope.
hear that polar spawn, it suddenly becomes like really spooky and kind of scary.
This very tall, elegant.
Is there a soldier in
Three orbs that circle around her as her eyes, and we
also she's
basically spun
blindfolded.
those orbs around her head as a big tell, launched them at the player, and then
I love that they just took someone like on their phone just doing like wah, and then they were able to incorporate that. That's very cool. It's always amazing when you see them like
opening up so you know what's about to happen.
One thing we've just recently
that's just insta-kill.
Elite units. We didn't want the elite units to feel like they're just, oh, this guy's got double health and double damage. We want to make sure the elite units feel like they have different behaviors and different attacks. So, for example, an Omnic Grunt, normally he just kind of, he fires his gun, he dies pretty simply. If you fight elite Grunts, his weapon fires in a burst fire pattern. It's very deadly if you're close. And if you manage to take them out, they don't just die right away. They instead can crawl on the ground towards you, and you try to back away because if it hits you, they explode.
Oh, okay, that's dope. Dope.
At BlizzCon, we're all just staring at this, and we're like, what are we going to do to level this up?
One of the things we really felt wasn't coming through was the damage states. We intend for players to shoot these guns off, but currently it's not reading as something that can happen in the game easily.
We change the design, we change the animation, and we go back and forth and just continually iterate.
We decided, hey, you know what? We're going to just delete half of these damage states, so now it's super readable.
From an animation standpoint, we decided on the spinning barrel version. Just did this really nice kickback. The tip of the barrel opens up when it's about to fire and shifts into place and boom!
That is cool.
To be fighting an artillery unit, and you can see the guns on the side. As you're shooting the guns, they're actually visibly taking damage, and then you can blow them off, and it reacts.
That's really important.
It really makes you feel like you're there, and it's super fun.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff we've showed so far, you're fighting NULL sector. These are evil killing machines intent on marching you down. The way you're going to stop them is by shooting them, and we want to make sure that feels responsive and visceral. Really making sure that when they take a hit, it feels like their whole body has been punched, almost like hit by a truck. That's what really sells this fantasy that you're playing these superheroes. One of the cool pieces of technology that we created was what we call chain hit reactions. Oftentimes you'll find NULL sector marching.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great. Yes. Yes, this is super dope.
Maybe a half a dozen units abreast. You expect if you shoot one, they're gonna knock into their buddies. So we made that happen.
This is very much like in Doom. This is good. Whoa. Oh, that's a little excessive, but I like that.
One of the things that we showed last year at BlizzCon was the new looks for our heroes. The theory kind of going in was like, you want to preserve the essence of your hero, but also kind of show that the heroes evolve and kind of change and move forward.
Hello,
so
Arnold.
We have a lot more new looks, so I'm excited to see how players and fans react to all of the ones that we've done so far.
Maybe we'll share some of those new looks today, which would be cool.
We're going to reveal McCree's new look for Overwatch 2 as well as Vera, and we're really excited to show off some of our first villains with Reaper and Widowmaker. But first, I wanted to talk a little bit about technical wear, kind of like technical.
I want to see McCree.
What that really is using very techy fabrics, as well as having very intricate but functional straps designed in a way that is very aesthetically pleasing.
Mm-hmm.
With McCree, we took a couple different approaches. He's got this classic cowboy look that it's really hard to mess with, because if you try to make
perfect.
it too sophisticated or too techy, it might not feel right for the character. But as a concept artist, you always want to change things around and try different shapes and silhouettes.
Like,
so we could identify Red Serape as the main.
Oh, I like the cloak. That's really cool.
McCree's cowboy hat. We didn't really want to mess with that too much, because that's a very iconic part of him. So that's another piece that we kept. We tried some retro cowboy looks that mixed in some tech here and there. Some that were a little bit more techy than others. Some that were a little bit more classic cowboy.
That's like just an extra skin, that third one.
It really gives him a nice kind of like a more aged look. What's different about Farah than some of our other heroes? It gives him
Okay, yeah, I appreciate that's more like a cloak, because I feel like it's easier for his arms to step out instead of like his typical poncho. I feel like the rest of it doesn't really look that different. His beard's a little different and his hair's cut.
nice kind of like a more aged look. What's different about Farah than some of our other heroes is Farah's completely covered in art. We didn't want to change her silhouette too much.
Right.
It was more about experimenting on different colors. So it felt really appropriate for her to be the one to harken back to those original Overwatch colors of white and blue. One of the things that we wanted to update on Farah was her visor. Instead of being completely opaque and reflective, we tried a little bit more of a transparent approach, and being able to see through it a little bit now allows us to see some more of her emotions. Reaper was actually the ones I was very excited to work on, because I could see a lot of potential in how we can integrate his cloak and his cowl and his armor, and how we can make all those shapes really sing within that classic, Reaper silhouette. We tried a couple takes with the first pass, like completely silver arms, more layers to his jacket. Reaper's basket, obviously pretty sacred to us, but the thing you'll notice immediately is that it's now completely silver. Instead of bone white, he's got this like almost like deadly edgy silver that just gives him that classic Reaper look. With Widowmaker,
the helmet's not bad.
A breadth of ideas. We tried things like
I love the braid.
Treasure Hunter. One of them made her feel like a classic Bond villain, so we kind of steered it back towards one of the more
the
looking
braid.
Like a futuristic femme fatale, which is basically what Widowmaker is, but she even feels more upgraded. So I'm super glad that we went down this route. We played with different hairstyles too. Widowmaker has a really long ponytail that's really.
I love the braid. Yes,
really
queen.
The hairstyle on one of the designs that was more braid, and it was really interesting look that also preserves Widowmaker.
It's so much hair. Just so much hair.
We've been working a lot with our Domino engine and making our cloth look better. Now that we have this
Good.
tech, we're going to be able to make some really cool, unique silhouettes that will help them stand out from other heroes. We put a lot of time and effort into our face rig, and what I mean by that is we're going to be able to get really close to these characters, and it's going to feel really cool. It is absolutely worth the time and
I love that.
to invest in technology, and that way we can make these characters do more things that we haven't really been able to do before.
Yeah.
It's been super exciting work on the new
I don't want just like these interactions to be saved for these just like spotlight, very quick animated shorts that I wish were like full animated movies and animated series and like stuff like that. I'm excited to see them, even if it's in engine and it's a little less like Disney-esque. I need it. Like I want to see them interact more. I want more of their personalities. I want them to live more, because obviously their voice lines do a lot, but actually seeing them say the lines and like look at each other and mean what they're saying is like, it's gonna be phenomenal.
Overwatch 2, and it's just been so inspiring to watch the team try things that we've never tried before.
Oh my god, Widowmaker's is probably my favorite new design. Look at this. I love. Oh, she still encompasses everything that she is, but it's just like a little more like classy. It's still very sexy. I love the braid. The braid was such a good idea, because it also harkens back to like the fact that she is a Black Widow, and Black Widows are arachnids. You know what's also an arachnid? A scorpion, and it looks like a scorpion tail, and it's like, yes, but also it's like a snake where it's like the rattlesnake end, because that's kind of braided. It couldn't have been better. I love it. I think the other ones are fine. I think this is fine, at least mobility-wise, makes a lot more sense, because he's much faster on the draw of his arm, especially because that's a shooting arm. Farah hardly looks different. I do appreciate the transparency, because she's very pretty. Fucking don't hide that pretty face. I know they said they, instead of the white, like bone white, they went for the gunmetal, sort of sleek silver. That's probably it's probably a tie between these two. That's like the least. No, it's probably Farah and Reaper are probably the least interesting. I'm very underwhelmed by Reapers and Farahs. McCree's I get for like functionality, and Widowmaker is just like top tier. Mwah. Just. Oh, baby. She is so beautiful. But yeah, I feel like Reaper didn't change that much. I don't know if I like the hood. Because his looked like a... His was like a cloak hood. This looks like he's wearing a hoodie underneath. He's wearing like a hoodie vest underneath this like cool jacket he already has. It's an interesting choice. And again, I wish... Again, Farah's outfit was probably going to be the hardest to change. I appreciate that they're going back to the more Overwatch colors because she is of Overwatch now. And the transparency, so we see her face more, makes sense. But I still wanted like something. I don't know what I wanted. I just wanted it to look like slightly different. Like, would I have wanted maybe like orange and white instead? Maybe? Because I feel like blue, she already had the blue. So I know this is like a different blue. Like this is more of like a almost satin, like lighter blue than her like very cobalt blue that she had. But I'm underwhelmed by Reaper and Farah. McCree is fine because again, he's very iconic. So they kept it and they just made the functionality make sense. Actually, his parents are kind of boring. Widowmaker is just top tier. This is just out of this world. Like, oh, of course.
It's been so
of
inspiring
course.
to watch the team try things that we've never tried before, and I just can't wait to show off more in the future.
Please do. Give me more.
Overwatch 2 is probably the largest opportunity we've had since the inception of the franchise to really expand what Overwatch even means to our players.
Yeah.
In Zero
Fucking
Hour,
do
we
it.
saw that some of the heroes got back together, but we're also seeing that there seems to be a second huge Omnic uprising.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna learn who's behind.
I have a reaction to me filming that, to watching this for the first time. I think I should post that. It's attached to a very inappropriate stream that I did where I was obscenely drunk. Like I blacked out drunk. And it was disgusting, and I'm very ashamed of that video. And it was only up for 15 hours, and I had to take it down because I was really embarrassed. And but I watched this for the first time where I was still like conscious and like coherent. It was before I started playing and then going for my other drink, which I shouldn't have done. So maybe I'll post that.
Not uprising.
Because it's a good animated.
How globally spread is it?
The story and franchise development group, they were really the torchbearers of what the big story is that we were going to tell for this game.
Oh, look at her move. Look at her move. Look at her. Look at this woman. Look at her thighs. Ah. I love thick bitches. Yes. I'm so happy. And like she's full off showing it. Like Zarya was muscle, but it was hidden under like dumb cloth. And Mei, she hid her booty with her little Eskimo outfit. She is just blatant. Look at my thighs. It reminds me of that. It's a weird comparison. If you guys have ever seen the second Madagascar movie, where they go to Africa, I believe it's the second one. And the hippo girl, I'm blanking on her name, hangs out with the other hippos, and there's one like alpha hippo, and I think his name was Moto, and like the New York main hippos just hang out, but then someone's like, ooh, someone's caught the eye of Moto, and the way he like walks onto the scene just reminds me of this. And I'm not saying she's a hippo, it's not an insult, it's just it was such a funny, like, yes, sex appeal walk, but I'm a hippo. But, like, she's just, like, doing it in actuality, and I love it.
For this game.
We have a lot
Ah.
of interaction with them. They're working on in-game cinematic intros and outros.
Good.
For every one of our story
Please.
missions.
It's been really great to see
Pretty.
this collaboration grow and develop. And the story's just a little more integrated into our missions than it ever really has been before. All the
How does she
individual
come back
heroes
into
get
the picture?
dialogue
I'm
for every
curious.
mission. We have NPCs. We have multiple hero choices.
We have all sorts of events that are happening that are driving players
Ooh.
to interact with each other or parts of the environment or other characters.
The world of Overwatch is this bright, shiny future.
Toronto!
So, take that bright, shiny future.
We're going to Canada!
How dark can the world of Overwatch go?
The different challenges that these characters are going to have to
Ugh.
overcome in Overwatch.
I love
2,
that we're at like a
things that they
train
haven't ever
station.
Dealt with before or dealt with on this scale. So what we had
And
to
that you
do was
go through
literally
it.
strip it down to the bare bones.
Oh, I'm so
of where are these
excited.
characters in our lives. Overwatch has been expanded, and now there's a situation where the world is in trouble again, and the world needs the heroes again.
Yeah, we
But they're
do.
not allowed to be doing what they were supposed
So
to
I
do.
guess after Winston gives the call and there's a scene in Paris that 0 Hour takes place in, Sojourn is like, hey, I'm coming back. What's up? I'm attractive. I'm gonna be everyone's new favorite character.
Locations, so we could brainstorm over and over different versions of what the Overwatch 2 story campaign could be.
And we basically had these whiteboards that we were carting around everywhere.
The room was filled with whiteboards, and we would just write every day story beats with the characters.
Good.
Who's doing what and where. And oh my gosh, we forgot this character.
We had these giant sticky notes, and each one of them would be a mission with a bunch of notes on it. You know, somebody say, well, what if we moved Rio to the end, and they'd physically grab it off the wall and stick it on the
That
end.
is very helpful. I feel like people underestimate how important it is storyboard, like how important storyboards are. Like I feel like you don't really see it a lot in recent animation, or at least they're not showing it behind the scenes as much. But like they would just have like almost frame by frame images of like what happened like with this character and how they moved in this next scene and then how they interacted with this, and it was very important visually to see how it flowed, and I feel like it really brought a lot of naturality. I don't know if that's the right word, if I should use that. It brought a lot of life, and like it grounded a scene because it wasn't crazy how they were moving, or how, like, if you look at like old films like Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin, there'll be behind the scenes things that show like frames and storyboards of the movies, and it makes sense, it clicks. Like the way Aladdin moves is nice, and obviously you can improve that like once you actually get to like the frame by frame thing, but like having it like laid out and like going through like from here to like here to like looking up, and I don't know, there's just it really helps the scene. And the fact that they're applying it to a video game like narrative, even though there are obviously games that have done this already, it's really important for Overwatch, because what I've craved what I've craved the most in Overwatch is story. I know some people were just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna play comp and I'm gonna shoot the guns or punch the thing or heal that person. And I get it, there is an appeal to that, but you give me these amazing characters. It's like there's been characters on shows. I think there was one in Fire Force. We know this character for like 2 minutes. You think they're gonna be recruited onto the team. We learn about their history and how they got into this, and then they're killed. And it's like, what? You made me love them, and they're dead. I just met them. No, it's like taking like this new puppy. It's like, you love this new puppy, isn't it great? Don't you love it? And then you just it gets thrown off a cliff. It's like yeeted out of your hands. It's like, that's what I always felt about these characters, is that there's so much here. There's all these voice lines and the way they move and their weapons and their relationships with each other and why they joined Overwatch, or why they're with Blackwatch or the bad guys. And there's so much, and I need more. Like with Widowmaker and her whole story of how she was just the wife of like the general of someone who's associated with Overwatch, but then they faked her death and then brainwashed her and made her the most deadly assassin. And it's like, you're not gonna show me any of it. You're just gonna you're just gonna tell it to me and not show me. And it's like, why? Like, yes, I know it's in the comics. No, I want to see it drawn out. I want to see the life. I want to see the light drain out of her eyes and watch her become this cold-hearted killer. And that's what I want from this. Like, give me that. Give me that. Give me the details.
And we did this for a while,
Please.
until we all felt that it was
Onegaishimasu.
close to what we wanted.
Then we could send it to our writers' rooms. The writers' rooms then had a much clearer direction.
Sorry for the rant. I just had to get that off my chest.
We come up with something that we think is right.
McCree!
Back to the game team, and they point out everything that.
Oh, Matt Mercer is like one of my favorite celebrities. I love him. He's so charming.
It just requires
He brings a lot of life to his characters.
to make the story as best we can make it.
From writing,
He's an amazing voice.
storyboards.
Bastion!
From there, it'll go to a previs department where they'll start to flesh out in 3D.
Mhm.
Once we've kind of figured out our camera work and our cinematography, that'll then go to the
Echo!
and then we end up going right into the game engine.
One of our challenges was to figure out how to integrate this story and this narrative.
Oh my god, Reinhardt's gonna meet Bastion and be like, oh my god, are you my new son? Son? But he's gonna be like, what the fuck, you're friends with a cyborg with one of the NULL sector bots that I fought that took down Germany? But then he's gonna be like, that's a good boy. I can hear it. And Torbjorn's gonna have a fucking field day.
The gameplay. So
Here he talks to his fucking non-living,
When you get into the game, mesh and feel the exact same way.
what do you call it? His turret. Thank you. Brain.
We really are also trying to get the music to be equally as consistent from in-game cinematics straight through to the mission.
Good.
Our lead composer has been working with the IGC team.
That's really important for games too. What I loved about Kingdom Hearts 3, even though that was it was a not controversial but highly divisive game. The fact that we could go from a cutscene that's in engine, to then him like getting ready for the pose, the camera switches and you're behind him and you go into the fight and everything's pretty much the same visual wise. It's fucking amazing. That really blew me away, because especially with, not that I really had ever had to deal with like crazy Kingdom Hearts load times, except for like maybe like Dream Drop Distance, I think. At least that's the one that peeks out to me at the moment. But like I didn't really have to wait for load times. And the fact that like, yes, there are load times between worlds and like going to different sections of the world by going to the save point, it was still very impressive to me that like everything was pretty much flawless. Like it wasn't like with Final Fantasy VII where people complained a lot about these loading hallways and under ground areas where you'd have to duck or like squeeze through somewhere, or I don't know, like slowly step over something. Where like that got tedious because it's like, oh my god, can we hurry up? I get it, we're loading in the things, but come on, I get it. When it's subtly dropped in there, it's fine. But then when you see it like 700 times, it's annoying. So I'm glad that I know they're taking this from the music standpoint, but I also hope that they consider it for the gameplay moving forward.
With the game team, developing
I like that in the background, he's just like, I'm in Overwatch. This is what I do 24/7.
Crafting should never override the gameplay. We want to make sure that the player's experience going through.
Have we heard her? I want to hear her voice.
Like a completely immersive experience.
The engineers, we have to find a way to actually make that come to fruition. The choreo tool is a tool that allows people to coordinate different events to happen at the same time. Like in Rio, if you played our demo, one of the buildings explodes, and so that kind of event needs to happen as you're running by, and you need to have it timed, because if it blows up too early,
I haven't played the demo.
Story moments in missions that interact with the environment, that interact with our characters.
Oh, I want to go there.
That we have now are allowing us to push our storytelling farther than.
I can't wait for Genji to reunite with Zenyatta.
Is that, if somebody has an idea, they can mock things up really quickly.
We got to show the Widowmaker making this awesome introduction. KayTea was able to quickly put a really rough prototype in choreo, and Philip would come in and on the fly, he's making quick changes. They play tested something that would normally take weeks. It was done in like a matter of days.
That's very cool.
Each story mission has its own custom
Oh,
map built for it.
pretty.
And these maps are absolutely gigantic.
Good.
It's one of our biggest maps, and it's a fun map because it has a few story beats that.
What is it?
Gigantic.
India's one of our.
Oh, it's just India.
It's a fun
Oh,
map because
dope.
It has a few story beats that we've taken from recent comics and characters in the game.
Oh.
We've written a history for each city so that the cities feel lived in. And I think that informs the artists so that they know like what it is that the city's been through.
Gothenburg was our chance to show Torbjorn's workshop. We created a space that kind of fits his height, so there's no step ladders and scalable tables.
Ah, that's so cute.
So that they know like
Hold on, I want to see what it's
been
called.
through.
Gothenburg was our chance to show
Gothenburg.
Torbjorn's workshop. We created a
Or
space that kind
Gothenburg.
of fits his height, so there's no step ladders and scalable tables. We designed the space as if we were Torbjorn. Molten steel is pouring out of walls. It's pretty epic when you walk into it.
That's very cool. Good for Torb.
Under siege by Null Sector when the players arrive here. There's a dynamic snowstorm. So as you make your way through the level, the snow is slowly building up. Suddenly by the end, the characters are caught in this gigantic snowstorm and they must fight their way through it.
Oh, Zarya. I wonder how she
We want to
changed.
give you choice to be able to play this character or that character. So we're designing
Oh,
a lot
she
of
looks...
systems around.
She's gorgeous.
To be able to play this character or that character.
Look at her. Look at her eyes. She's beautiful. Oh, I can't wait to get to know her.
So we're designing a lot of systems
Oh, she's so excited.
around how the relationship
Oh! Yay! That's so nice.
relationships develop over the
I
course
love
of
it.
the story missions and the campaign.
We have a cast of many characters, all on screen, all at the same time, and it's fantastic to actually see them all interacting and working
Yes,
together in
that's
ways
what I
that we've never
want.
actually seen. We've always
This
thought
is
about
what I
it,
want to
hoped
live
it,
for.
and now it's actually happening.
It actually requires us to have a whole new branching dialogue system. If you happen to have
Good.
Genji and Mercy in the second mission of the game, you might get different dialogue that's about their relationship.
Our voice actors bring the characters to life in ways that everybody has fallen in love with, from
Yes.
Inside Blizzard to the fans. Just to hear this collection of actors all together, all interacting, has been a real treat.
I love him. He's so cute.
See how many people are involved.
I'm sorry, does he have a baseball cap? He has a little baseball cap because Torbjorn adopted him. Stop. Oh my god. Torb, you gave him a hat. Does Ganymede get a hat? Please tell me Ganymede gets a hat. Oh, don't do this to me. Oh, that's so fucking cute. Look at this little team up. Oh, it's Bastion, it's Brigitte, it's Torb, it's Reinhardt. Oh, God, my heart.
People are involved when it comes to something like telling the story of Overwatch. It doesn't just come from a singular person. It
I think that
comes
there's an
from a group,
NPC.
and it's a really talented, fun group
Oh,
that
that's
all
really
works
cute.
together.
That someone drew them.
What we hope is one of the best stories ever. There's some
Oh,
key
that
story
breath.
moments that I'm really excited about. And I really can't wait to see how people react to it.
Oh, yes, baby girl. Oh, I love her.
We've been talking about the game, about this universe. I know you all love it so much.
Yes.
Right now, we can sit down and have a night of
Oh, I
Overwatch
want
2
that.
and have it be a really fun experience. And I think
That's what
we
I
need some more time
want.
so we can say
I want to have
it's supposed to be
fun.
polished in a way
I
that
don't
we
want the
We've
toxicity.
made such incredible strides since we first announced this and showed it to the community at BlizzCon in 2019.
The thing that I'm most excited about is that moment when we hand the game over to the players.
We want to create something that really moves people, really touches people.
That's why we do it. We create the game because we want it to become part of your life and for you to experience it.
Winnie.
For Overwatch 2, we're upping the bar.
It's kind of 5 games in one. It's a huge undertaking.
Good.
The new tech and the new aesthetics from the new looks bring you closer to the characters that you love, and we're just getting started. The fidelity of the gameplay experience is much richer.
We are making cinematics that push the boundary of what we can do to tell stories.
Good.
We want this dynamic
I
world.
want
We
the
things that feel alive.
stories. Oh, look at the way the trees
To
move.
expand the world of Overwatch for our players.
We're
Oh,
really trying to tell this epic
pretty.
story.
Oh, I'm so excited for India.
It takes time, energy, collaboration.
We have just an incredibly professional team of designers and artists and engineers.
We just love bringing this world to you guys. So many cool characters. It's just a blast working on it.
Our goal is for Overwatch 2 to be the worthy successor to the first game, to be the next evolution. of
I
the
want it
true
to be
sequel.
better.
We have big plans. Thank you for sticking with us.
We're gonna cross the finish line, and I know it's gonna be awesome.
Good.
People just end up loving playing it over and over.
That's what we want to try and capture. I'm jumping in, I'm playing. Let's go. Be heroes.
Are you telling me when it's coming out? Nope. Ah! Just give me the information that I crave. I want the information. Ah! Okay, hold on. I need to look this up. Overwatch Sojourn. Has there been an animated about her? Because if there has, we're watching it. Okay, no. Okay, it's just analyzing. Okay, there's like an official trailer that we should probably watch. It's from IGN. No interrupties. All right, back we go. Give me the goods. Overwatch 2. Give me the nums. Give me the tasty. God, your frog on your back just gets creepier every time.
It's happening again. Paris was just the beginning. This is a global invasion.
Mm-hmm.
So, how's Overwatch enjoying our city? It's beautiful, except for all the killer robots. Look up there. That's the command ship. Then we know what we have to do. Oh, yeah. You're with me. We're getting aboard that ship.
Hell yeah.
I knew you would return one day. It hasn't been too long. Master.
Oh, yes. I also want them to just hug. Is that... I don't know if Zenyatta does hugs. If he does, he gives very nice ones. So it is... Genji would be awkward about it, but I just want Zenyatta to be like, enough of the formalities. I'm so proud of you, my boy. You have so much life in you again. Oh, Doomfist. Tasty. Oh, there she is. There was Sword Zone for a hot second. There she is. Oh my god, her booty's even more fabulous.
One city at a time.
Oh, Papa! Oh, so that says where that's where they say Route 66 is. But in the other trailer, or in the conversation, sorry, I need to charge my computer. In the other trailer, or in the presentation we just saw, that's where Blizzard World is. Blizzard Land, or whatever it's called. I can't wait for that. Oh, look at the blasties. That looks amazing. That's very cool. Yeah. What is his name? I must protect him. He's so cute. I hope his name is George. Ooh. I knew him.
Sojourn here.
Oh, is that all we're getting from her?
Sojourn here.
Oh, come on. I want to hear more of her. She sounds lovely. Oh, they got mad at me for pausing. Oh, God, please. Don't get mad at me. Nope, that's just doing it on its own. Cool. Thanks, IGN, for a really shitty version of the trailer. Aside from the glitch, that still looks great. Or maybe, oh, you know what it probably is? I'm probably also dropping frames. Aren't I? Because I realize is that when my computer, I've noticed this, when my computer gets low on battery, everything on my computer wants to stop what it's doing and like go really slow. So far it's not saying I'm dropping frames, but just looking at me like in the camera, for me, everything is a little slow. So apologies about that. I should have had my computer plugged in. I didn't. I dumb. I'll learn. We'll get bigger brain. We'll get more wrinkles on the brain. I don't know what else to say. Yeah, now I have a warning that says, oh, you're dropping frames. It's like, no fucking shit, I'm dropping frames. Thanks for telling me a little too late. Oh. Alright, anyway, I don't know why I decided to go for the Mickey voice. I'm getting tired. But that was exciting to look over. I'm glad I did that. What do you guys think? I want this to be good. I want this to be good. Please. 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 Like, I get it. For people who don't like story shit, like I know there's people who don't like story shit. I feel you. Go keep playing Overwatch. But I don't want the toxicity. And I want the story. So let's fucking go. Give me the goods. Okay? Anyway. I'm tired. I'm going to sign off. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. And if you're interested, subscribe. Because holy shit. I've got like 670 plus views on my Nier Replicant trailer. So thank you to everyone who's checked that out. I've also gotten a lot of comments on that video, so thank you for commenting. You guys have been very nice, and I appreciate you. So anyway, I'm going to sign off now. Let me know if you want more of this stuff below. Also, what do you think of my little reaction screen? Does it look nice? Do you see enough of my face? Do you see enough of this? Do you think it'll help with copyright in the future? Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon, okay? Bye.